Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the lands of Aecathan. No professionals, no fancy tech, just a group of women playing an all-original game of Dungeons & Dragons. I'm Jeff, your Game Master, and here's what happened last time. After the healing of Belinamard, there were still the orcs to consider. A plan was hatched to sort the orcs, clear both the Thwilnu and dragon mental adjustments, and determine whether or not they were willing to learn to live a peaceful life. Tasha reconfigured her magnificent mansion to allow for treating and separating the redeemable orcs from the irredeemable orcs. Master Chube was recruited to create the second mansion needed for this process. Mar was brought in to help the redeemable orcs acclimate to their new reality. Ultimately, a total of 20 orcs were found to be redeemable. With Mother Tassa's help, the irredeemable orcs were shipped off to a hastily constructed containment facility outside of Erma. The Council of Belinamard reported that the recovery was going as well as could be expected. Zorith and Gwen contacted Athgarr to get an update on his father's condition. He also told them that he had still been unable to locate or contact Aralahkis and asked the four for their help. Bo and Vines volunteered to remain in Belinamard, and the four headed to Thunder's Edge. The group contacted Gago for help, only to discover that Aralahkis was with her in her lair, which is warded against any sort of magical intrusion. She then informed them that after an impressive amount of swearing, Aralahkis was headed home immediately. After notifying Athgarr that Aralahkis was located, the four used their powers of deduction to track down Athgarr and Lord Tremane, eventually, who turned out to be in a chamber in the Temple of Phahros. They spoke with Athgarr and then with Aralahkis and resigned themselves to being in Thunder's Edge for quite some time to come. And that is where we pick up. So, what would you like to do first?
What time of day is it?
Late afternoon.
Well, I am still checking on Athgarr and trying to make sure that he gets some much-needed rest.
All right. Well, you walk back into the room where his father is being tended, and you see that he is in a chair at his father's bedside. He has his father's hand in his, and he's just sort of almost drowsing as he sits there.
So I walk up and just lightly put my hand on his shoulder to get his attention.
Hello.
You're exhausted.
Yeah.
I think that you need to get some rest.
Well, I think I'm going to learn to sleep in a chair.
What if I sat with your father so that you could get a little rest?
I think I'm going to stay put, but if you'd like to keep me company.
Of course.
Grab a chair.
I do.
And once you...
I'll just pull it up beside him.
Okay. And once you sit down, he holds his hand out.
I'll slide my chair over so that if he wants to rest his head, he can.
Okay. All right.
You don't have to let go of his hand, but you can at least get some rest.
Well, I appreciate you being here.
If you're to be of any use to him or anyone else, you can't be this tired.
Distract me. Tell me what was the resolution in Belinamard? What did you do with the orcs?
So I start to tell him, and I try to make the tale as entertaining as possible.
All right.
Just to keep him amused.
Roll performance. That's
Very
something I don't
well.
think I've ever asked Gwen to do before.
Just once.
Oh, that's true. Yep.
A total of 20.
Oh. Okay. He actually, you see that he blinks some of the sleep away and his eyes become a little bit more alert.
Well, that was kind of the opposite of what I was going for.
Well, he's interested. And he kind of nods. I haven't had time to tell anyone to check on the campsite. I'll do that. I haven't forgotten.
I can send a message. Who do we want to tell?
I don't know. I'm not really sure who's going to listen to me at this point. I'm really glad Aralahkis is back.
When you say the campsite, what do you mean?
Where you were held, where somebody mentioned maybe using that as the site for training the orcs that
Yes.
you're going to bring.
Okay. I will... Can I see anyone from where I am? Anyone in the doorway?
No. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Aralahkis is back, right?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't
Well,
seen...
there are people like outside of the room, correct?
Yeah, there are novices. I mean, you're basically in the Temple of Phahros.
Oh,
Okay.
where are we? Are we?
We're just outside the room, I think.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So I will use message because I know that they're right outside the door.
Okay.
And I will whisper a message to Zori and just say, Athgarr would like to send a message to the campsite, to someone regarding the campsite where I was held originally, and see if we can get that space.
Rescouted, yeah.
I get ready to go in. And so I say okay, and then get ready to go out in there. Clear out. What do we call it? Campsite?
Mm-hmm.
In desert. So I go in and who do you want to send this to? It would have to be someone I know.
Aralahkis or...
Well, Aralahkis is busy right now, right? I mean, like, Aralahkis is running around trying to take care of things.
Yeah, well, he's busy trying to find out everything that he needs to know.
Would
Message
that...
Sten.
Oh. Good idea.
We would have followed Zori in, I'm guessing, if she went back in the room.
And Athgarr looks up and kind of half smiles and...
I messaged Sten. Oh, let's see. I'm gonna have to Obrist Greater Sending because I don't know where she's at, and it's going to take a half a second to explain why we're doing that.
Okay.
I briefly give a rundown about what happened, why the orcs would be coming. I mean, like, brief.
Right.
And we need somebody to go out and out to the desert. Would they know where we picked up Gwen previously?
Probably not.
So I give an approximation of how many days out and how many, like, we walked for 5 hours and then went south for 5 hours and, or, you know, whatever.
Sten suggests that, if possible, it might be easier for somebody who was there to scry on it.
Do we have anybody that can scry? Okay. I thank Sten and ask her how she's doing now that Aralahkis is back.
Well, he didn't yell at me. He actually patted me on the shoulder and said that I had done very well in his absence and that I could go rest.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
When he goes into one of his whirlwind moods, he needs someone to follow after him and put things back where they belong. So the next time he goes into a whirlwind mood, things are where he can find them. I learned that lesson a couple years ago.
Got it. All right. Well, thank you. If you need us, we're around. And then I look to Tasha and I say, hey, you can scry.
Yep.
Sten suggested to scry on that area. Does scrying work on a person or an area?
It's usually on a person.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Particular creature you choose is on the same plane of existence as you, plane of existence. The target must make a wisdom saving throw. Poopies. Oh. Do I have anything in my inventory?
It says, instead of targeting a creature, you can choose a location you have seen before as the target of this spell.
Oh, I didn't...
When you do, the sensor appears at that location and does not move.
Well, where is that at?
Very bottom.
At the bottom.
Oh, I see. Okay, then she knew that, and I'm silly.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
Athgarr, are you going to go get some sleep?
I'm going to stay here. I will nap here.
We could get the carpet out so you could lay down next to him. I mean, because it'll float right next to the...
I'm fine. Gwen has graciously offered me the use of her shoulder if I need.
Is there anything else that would take some weight off your shoulders if we handled it?
I honestly don't know. I'm sure that if Aralahkis needs help, he'd appreciate your assistance. But as my father is still alive, he, as the seneschal, is the person in charge right now. So it's no longer me, if it ever was.
You know that they were just concerned with following tradition, and it wasn't anything in terms of concern about your abilities.
It would be great if that was the case.
Well, you've proved yourself.
Not to
Since then.
everyone.
Quite a few people.
I think you'll find that you have more supporters than you think.
Well.
How about some food and drink? We can at least arrange for that to be brought in.
I'm really not hungry or thirsty. When I am, the priests bring me something.
Okay.
I just feel like I need to be here.
Then here you'll be. And we'll be not far away.
Gwen, I would appreciate it if you would stay for a bit.
I'll stay as long as you need.
The rest of you, I'm sure you're tired. You've just completed a Herculean effort.
It's still early in the day, right?
We've rested.
Yes,
Yeah, we're good.
But
Tasha's gonna scry. We're gonna...
have you seen Oloric?
No, not yet.
Well, I would suggest that should be near the top of your list.
If
Well,
she chooses.
I tell you what. You let us worry about you, and you worry about your dad, and don't worry about us. We got this.
Sorry. Habit.
Mm-hmm. So what am I scrying on?
Well,
Do you
you're
remember-
gonna need probably a different location to do that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
then.
we should go back out here.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be nearby.
We're just ascending away.
You're gonna scry on the place where we found Gwen initially in the desert. I almost said in the Sahara. That's not
You
it.
mean when they got kidnapped?
When she got kidnapped and we went in and we saved her.
When we met her, yep.
When we met her, yeah.
Before they leave,
Back in the
Aribell
day.
goes to the other side of the bed and squeezes Tremane's hand and kisses him on the forehead and walks with them.
All right.
See, in the spell description, it says you have to scry on a person or a creature.
If you look down at the bottom, it does say you can scry on a location as well.
Oh, okay.
I just read it off D&D Beyond, so
Yeah, that's
Pretty
what
sure
I'm
it's
looking
there.
at. All right. I was just very confused. All right, so I attempt to scry on the first place that we found.
okay. It takes 10 minutes to cast the spell.
Mhm.
One of the novices is happy to bring you a basin of water to use as your vessel.
Mm-hmm.
As you are casting it, once again, you see the clouds appearing in the water. And when you finish the spell, you see the clouds fade away. And you see a spot in the desert. Make a perception check.
Yeah. Natural Kraken. So 34.
Okay. Your vision is from a ways up in the air, so you could see most of the entire site. It's hard to spot, but it does appear that it's possible that the tents are still there, but they've been blown down and mostly covered in sand.
Okay.
With that roll, at the very edge of what you can see, you spot 3 figures in light beige colored clothing, fairly blending in with the sand, who appear to be camped out on the backside of a nearby dune and are watching the sight.
Don't Well,
the Jagravanen wear not beige? Don't they wear black?
Camouflage?
Well, thinking back to the people who were there for Gwen's hometown.
The leader was in black.
Oh.
But the rest of them were wearing, different colors.
Different colors.
Yeah, like the slaves were in sort of a tattered blue. The guards were in red.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Do I remember seeing Jagravanen in beige?
Make a history check. Because this is beyond the Keen Mind month.
23.
Yes. The caravan that came through the Firefly Oasis, there were several of the guards. As you think back, it was the guards with bows. Were all in beige robes and headscarves.
Okay. So it looks like the tents are still there, although they're blown down. But they're being watched by Jagravanen sentinels who might have bows. I saw 3, but there could be more.
Well, right now 3 is... I don't know.
We might want to consider training them somewhere else.
Right.
Or letting the orcs train on some Jagravanen spies.
Yeah.
Was the camp still there?
Sort of.
The remains of the camp were there, but
yeah.
it's not habitable.
Okay.
Not in its current form.
So, new plan. Or we need one.
I'm sure we can find tents
Mm-hmm.
and build a camp.
Mm-hmm. But we're going to have to be careful.
We also talked about not being able to get them all here at the same time. Gonna have to take them back and forth. But I could theoretically jump out 15 minutes away from the camp with the orcs. And I mean, when it comes time.
Now we'll have to get supplies and things before.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can get Wiggy to put all that together for us. Isn't that what he does now?
Yeah,
We have a personal shopper.
we do.
Ooh.
All right. In Tremane's room, Athgarr takes Gwen's hand in his other hand and just gives it a squeeze, and then leans his head on her shoulder. And in a very short amount of time is asleep.
Is there a spare blanket anywhere in the room?
Probably. There's a couple chests.
Mm-hmm. Would one of you look in one of those chests to see if there might be a blanket or a pillow?
Well, they're all outside the room.
Oh, okay.
Right now it's just you and Athgarr and Tremane.
You can send a message again, though, if it worked last time.
Sure. I'll send a message
Okay.
to Zori and say, hey, would you mind seeing if you can find a blanket or pillow or something?
Then I come back in very quietly and look.
Yeah, there's a chest on the other side of Tremane's bed that has sheets and blankets.
Yeah, I grab a blankie.
Okay.
I grab a blankie. 2 if they're small.
Yeah.
1 for her, 1 for him.
Thanks so much.
No problem.
So I throw a blanket over him and try to make him comfortable.
He sighs in his sleep.
I'll just kind of play with his hair and glare at Tremane and say, you know, I wish you had acted in such a way that you deserved him.
A voice right beside your right ear says,
I think it would be an excellent idea if you fell asleep too. It would make this much easier.
Why? Is it my friend?
sounds like him.
Well, I'm kind of excited to hear his voice, but I will do as instructed, and I'll put my head on top of Athgar's and try to fall asleep.
Okay.
Oh boy.
It doesn't take long for you to fall asleep. You think you're dreaming. It feels strange because you feel disembodied. You can see and you can hear, but you don't seem to actually be where you are seeing and hearing. What stretches out before you is... Well, the best way to describe it is it sort of looks like the Firefly Oasis, except instead of sand, it's rolling fields of grass. And with a slight start, you realize that all around you are huge cats. Mountain lions, panthers, tigers, cheetahs, lions. In the distance, you can see, sort of on opposite sides of your vision, herds of some types of creatures. One looks sort of like deer, but they have long, curved antlers that come out of their heads. The other one, you really have not seen a creature that looks quite like that. It's as if someone cast multiple strength spells on a cow and gave them very, very, very bushy fur and huge horns.
That's weird.
I can't speak or move or anything. Is
No.
that true?
Yep. And it's then you actually realize that you are looking down from, not a substantial height, just maybe over top the head of Athgarr, who's standing in the grass and looking intently at a male lion who is curled up at the base of a huge palm tree and looks to be sleeping, but also looks to be dreaming. Because there's the periodic paw twitch.
Can I do anything to get Athgar's attention? To let him know I'm there?
Nope. That same voice says beside you,
"You can't talk. You can just watch and listen. I probably shouldn't be doing this, but I know how you feel about the young man, and I thought that you would do better knowing this particular moment."
I try to think loudly. Thank you.
and you sense that he's gone again. Athgar's standing there staring at the lion, and he seems to suddenly realize that he's in a very strange place. And he takes a step backwards and then looks sharply to the right, and there is a very, very large lion, probably twice his height, coming toward him. And as you watch, the lion trots toward him and slowly begins to shift until he becomes a human male. Probably early 50s. Full beard, mustache, long hair. Dressed sort of similar to the style that you see the more well-off people wearing in Thunder's Edge. He walks up, stops a few feet from Athgarr, and says, "You'll be fine. Don't worry. There is always an adjustment." Athgarr looks at him. "I'm sorry." "Your father. He's almost all the way here. And then he'll wake up, and we will be here with him. So you do not need to worry. It is not the end. It's simply a transition. He has earned his place here, and he will be joining us. Who are you?" You can call me Zhona. I am acquainted with your father. A hard man. I don't know quite how he turned out that way, but he did what he thought was right, and I cannot fault him for that. You sound like you know him well. I did. For a long time. Before I came here. I have seen glimpses since I left. Sometimes sometimes I can see back to the world. He's made some blunders, but we all do. You will. I think I have already. Good, you've gotten started. Oh, and incidentally, allow me to pass along one pearl of wisdom, piece of advice. I'm not sure what the appropriate phrase would be, but some information that I hope will help you understand. You have chosen a mate. Well, I care for someone. Good, that is a good way to start. She is a good person. You could do much worse. Do you know why your father did not like her? I thought it was because she was joined to the clan through indentured servitude. No. Believe it or not, your father does not care about that. Your cared for one is a very strong personality. She has fire. She will not sit back and take things lightly. I once knew a woman that she resembles very much your grandmother. I never knew my grandmother. Well, no, you wouldn't remember. She passed away when you were very young. Not even walking. But she knew you. And looking back on it now, I think that her particular form of love that she showed to your father, I don't think he ever quite understood it. And so their relationship was not smooth. And if he too saw the resemblance between his mother and your person, it would automatically prejudice him. When you go back, you will tell her this, so she realizes it was not personal. It had nothing to do with from whence she came or how she came to the clan. It was simply that you have your grandfather's taste in women. And this did not, I'm sure, sit well with Tremane. And at that point, he kind of raises his head and sniffs. Athgarr, look to the tree. And he turns his head, and Athgarr looks at the tree and watches as the lion under the tree opens its eyes and stretches and yawns and climbs a little unsteadily to its feet.
We will take care of him now. You go back and take care of her, and take care of your city. Because it's your city now. Well, that's not a certainty. Oh, yes it is. Trust me. I will make certain that your father is treated well here and adjusts as quickly as he may. It was good to see you again. Be well. And he turns and starts to walk toward the tree, and as he does, he swells back into that huge lion. And your vision goes black as you feel Athgarr jerk his head up off your shoulder and look over, and his father has passed.
Mm.
And he just kind of slowly lets go of his hand and looks at Gwen and actually smiles.
It's okay.
I know.
You know where he is now.
How do you know?
I was standing right behind you.
No, you
In your
weren't.
dream.
I didn't see you or feel you there.
I couldn't move to let you know I was there. But I saw the big lion. And I saw your father when he woke.
Apparently I have my grandfather's taste in women. This is news. Not unwelcome news. I never knew him. But he was spoken of highly by many in the clan, most of whom have also passed now.
Well, I'd like to learn more about your grandmother, but at this moment, I think there's protocol to follow. Would you like me to go make the notifications?
No. The first thing I need to do is contact Aralahkis. If you would tell the others.
I will. Is there anything I can do for you?
Continue being like my grandmother.
Well, I don't know what that means exactly, but
I don't either, but if she was
Keep
anything
doing
like
this.
you, I think we would have gotten along.
I don't know, maybe you would have fought all the time like we did.
Probably.
I'll go tell the others.
Thank you.
Just squeeze his hand and fold the blanket.
And he goes
And head
walking out the other door out of the room, presumably to go inform the clergy, so that they can begin the burial rites.
So I go out the other door and tell the rest of the four that Lord Tremane has passed. And I tell them a little bit about what my friend Sekuthos allowed me to observe.
Ooh. I bet that was his grandpa.
That would be my guess. But now I need to go check the history books and see if I can find out more about these folks.
Yeah.
They sound kind of interesting.
Well, basically, let's see. For Zorith and Tasha.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to roll Arcana to to see if anything in Gwen's story rings a bell.
$24.
Okay.
$13.
All right. Tasha, you recall hearing a story years and years and years and years ago, probably while you were still a child. You were told a story about a place called the Beastlands, where intelligent animals roamed the outer plains.
Okay.
Sounds remarkably similar to what Gwen was describing.
Well, my aunt told me this story once about the Beastlands. And maybe that's where he was.
There were many beasts.
Could be.
And although I was no fan of Tremane's, it is somewhat encouraging to think that there's something for him after this. Because that means that maybe there'll be something for Athgarr after this.
And maybe he just didn't understand his mother.
Well, then that would be something that has been passed generationally as well, because Athgarr certainly doesn't understand his father.
He's kind of hard to understand.
I think he will need all of us in the coming days.
I'm sure.
Although he seemed more peaceful having had this vision or dream.
It's reassuring to know that your loved one has moved on to something different that maybe will give him peace.
I'm sure that he wanted that for his father, even if he never did really understand him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really... Tremane has been in power the whole time that I've been a part of this clan, and although I've some notion of the correct steps, I've never seen a transition like this before.
Beats me.
Do you think we'll be allowed to watch? I mean, since we're honorary members, I know we won't have a vote, but do you think we're allowed to be there?
I would think so.
I don't think they can stop us.
Well,
They can try.
We'll be respectful of their culture, of course.
Oh, of course. Respectful and yet not asking for their opinion.
Respectful, but also not leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Gwen, of course, you mean you will be there. It's not.
Well, where I go, you go.
Indeed.
Let's not start an incident.
I'm not starting anything. I'm merely finishing it.
You hear footsteps coming down the hallway. And around the corner comes a much more normal-looking Aralahkis.
Ooh.
Aralahkis, can you tell us about what comes next?
Well, a lot of that depends on Athgarr. can't really call him the boy anymore.
He's all grown up.
Well, maybe not in public.
Well, first things first. During the transition, the Seneschal assumes responsibility for the day-to-day operations of the city. So, I've got that to look forward to. But it'll be up to Athgarr whether this is a clan funeral or a public funeral. If it's a public funeral, then we need to invite dignitaries from the rest of the principalities and domains across Aecathan.
If you go that route, I can help with whatever. Since there's not...
Yeah, if that's what we end up having to do, I'll gladly take you up on that. Because the last time when Athgar's grandfather passed away, it was just a clan funeral. So if he decides to go the public route, I haven't done one before.
And his status as a war hero, it might make sense.
Crap. Yeah, you're right.
And
which is
set up
better.
Thunder's Edge for a different kind of relationship if Athgarr is selected.
Yeah. Well, first things first, we got to get through that.
Yes.
Then there will be a conclave of clans. And each clan is allowed to present a candidate. And then each candidate is allowed to speak. And then there is a vote.
Is there any reason to think that the Lion Clan won't put Athgarr forward?
Not if I have anything to say about it. There's always people who think that one family's had it too good for too long and want somebody different just because it's not them.
Of course.
But I don't know. This clearly took me by surprise. Of all the times to fall in love.
She is very bewitching. And you didn't know.
Sometimes people hold on longer so that they don't have to see the people they care about watch them. He might have held on till you were away. On purpose. Not on purpose, but...
Well. Yeah, that doesn't sound like him at all.
He's very proud. And strong.
Yeah. Well, so, yeah, that's the process. We'll give Athgarr a day or two, and then have him make the decision as oldest surviving heir what sort of celebration we will have of Tremane's life. And then we will announce conclave, and we will begin taking nominations from the clans. We'll schedule a forum, and then we'll schedule the vote.
When you said oldest surviving heir, does that mean there are other heirs?
There are cousins.
Ah.
But Athgarr is the direct heir.
Okay.
Are there particular families that have spoken against him recently?
Yeah, who do we kill?
Yeah, for that reason alone, I'm gonna
Not-
keep that to myself.
I'm just kidding.
No, I appreciate the sentiment, but I also think you're maybe a little too close to this situation.
Well, I am an ambassador.
Yeah, to everywhere outside of town.
Aralahkis, would we be able to stay at the keep for the next few days so we can be with Athgarr?
Yeah. I'm sure I could arrange that.
I can talk to Sten. You have plenty to do.
Well, I came here to make sure that Athgarr was all right. I'm surprised he's not with you.
He went to tell you.
I guess I better go back. It'll be easier if he can find me again.
Yes.
We'll be there soon. We'll check in with the priests here and see if they need anything.
Thanks. And he turns around and walks out a little faster.
Those two are going to have to get their signals better in tune.
Well, both of them are a little befuddled.
All right.
Did the priests go into the room yet?
Yes. The high priest is there with a couple elder novitiates, and they're in the process of performing the beginnings of the funereal rites.
Go in.
Yeah. Kind of stand out of the way. Just watch.
Right. Yeah. They continue for a little bit, and then the priest looks over and notices you, motions for the two novitiates to continue. You see a tall figure dressed all in black with a black hood and wearing a white marble mask. And as the figure walks toward you, they pull down the hood and you see long auburn hair in a braid, and then they take the mask off and you see a rather attractive older human woman.
Anyone I recognize?
No. She walks over, stops a respectful distance away, and bows.
I'll bow back.
Mm-hmm.
I know you by description.
You have me at a disadvantage.
I am Leia Hill. I am the high priestess of this temple.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Gwen Larn.
Yes, I know. I am aware of who all of you are. I do not believe any resident of Thunder's Edge at this point remains ignorant.
You're here administering rites of a sort?
The beginnings, yes. These are purification rites, rites to encourage the soul along to its final destination. And we are also knowing that it may be a bit of time before certain decisions are made. We are casting preservation magics as well that will keep the body fresh.
I have reason to believe that Lord Tremane has already reached a destination. I don't know if it's the destination. And I tell her what I saw.
Lord Tremane was granted entry to the Beastlands.
Is that what that was?
I believe so. It is the belief of the members of the Lion clan, at least the elder members, that their leonine nature is their true nature, and that their spirits will assume their true form once being released from these mortal vessels.
Well, it seemed a lovely place, and that he would be in good company there.
I am pleased to hear it. I hope that that is the case. Have you received any indication from Lord Athgarr as to what his choice will be for a burial service? Or when?
No.
I suppose it's too soon.
I'm sure he'll follow tradition.
Well, tradition does offer him choices.
We should know more tomorrow.
Well, we can tend to Lord Tremane for a few days, easily enough. So, please tell Lord Athgarr that there is no rush from us. We are his servants, and we are awaiting his command.
I will
Right.
share that if I see him soon. Before you do.
I know he has a choice of a clan funeral or a state funeral. I don't know your customs here. Does he lie in state for people to visit until then, or?
That, too, is a decision that Lord Athgarr must make. It largely depends on his interpretation of his father's wishes, or if his father left explicit instruction somewhere. We try our best to honor the wishes of the deceased. We have some who wish all to be able to see, and some who wish none to see and to remember him as he was. Many decisions lie ahead for Lord Athgarr.
Beginning to realize how many.
We will talk to him and Aralahkis and do whatever we can to help.
And if there's anything you need from us, from the temple, please let us know. We are here to be as much gentle assistance as possible in this time.
Sure, that will be much appreciated. Well, if you'll excuse me, I'll see if I can find Athgarr, Lord Athgarr, now.
Very well. And she turns, puts the mask back on, pulls the hood back up, walks over and rejoins the ritual.
Shall we head to the keep?
I'm going to see if I can find him and at least give him a little warning of what's coming his way. And then
It's a lot.
I'll join you.
We head on over.
Zorith, you feel a vibration coming from your belt pouch.
I get my sending stone. Is it my sending stone?
It is.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I'm not bothering you, but I thought you should be aware that Athgarr is here, drinking by himself.
Ooh.
Perhaps that's not the best thing right now.
Has Gwen left?
No, she's just about to.
I reach out to grab her arm and I say, wait, well, are the sending stones quiet or do we have to talk?
You just think it.
Thank you. Keep it to yourself, but Lord Tremane has passed. And so then I grab Gwen and I say, Oloric said he's at the bar drinking by himself. So sorry about that. At least you know where he is.
Yes, thank you. I hustle to the bar.
All right. Well, it's later now. Athgarr was actually sleeping for a couple hours. So there is a smallish crowd. And there is a figure in a hooded cloak sitting off by themselves with a mug of ale. Looks to be about half full.
I'm going to go in through the kitchen.
Okay.
Try to find a corner pantry, place that's out of view, and cast Disguise Self.
Okay.
And I will take I'm going to disguise myself as a local vendor, like a merchant.
Okay.
And then I will...
Male or female?
Female.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go back out the way I came and enter
the
through
only way into the kitchen is to go into the bar and go around the bar and go into the kitchen. There isn't an outside entrance just to the kitchen.
Okay, then I'll go into the bar.
Okay. Oloric just kind of sees you, nods at you, and then looks and nods at the figure.
He knows who I am.
You had to walk by him to get into the kitchen.
To do your change. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I will walk over and sit in the seat next to the hooded figure. Buy you a drink?
Have one. But thank you. And he picks it up to drink and kind of looks at it and just sits it back down.
Under my breath, I'll say, Athgarr, it's me.
Does your disguise include a different voice?
Mm-hmm. I'm counting that he'll know. But if he doesn't,
And
I'll straighten him
he
out.
just kind of cocks his head and says, "Which me?"
I'm starting to think I should be worried about you. How many me's are there?
4.
Aribell can't do this, so.
I can't either.
I can.
The me that lent you a shoulder.
Why this?
Because if I sat next to someone as myself, it might have given you away. And since you took all the effort to put that lovely cloak over your head, I thought that perhaps you were trying to, I don't know, be discreet.
I just needed to come someplace. This is going to sound strange, but someplace that's mine.
You want to remember who you are.
I just wanted a moment to collect myself.
Understandable.
People have already started asking me questions I don't know the answers to. But they seem to think I should.
Well, there are two options here. I can listen to be an understanding ear, or I can listen to be a sounding board for the decisions that you are trying to make. I guess perhaps maybe a bit of both.
Could I request a third option?
Sure.
That you help me figure this out, and if I'm being stupid, tell me.
Well, that was kind of the sounding board idea.
Okay, just so we're clear.
Are you drunk?
On half a glass? I don't think so.
I don't know how many you've had before now.
This is the first one. I
Just
thought
checking.
I wanted it. And I drank about half of it, and now I don't want it anymore.
I reach over, slide the glass in front of myself, take a deep drink. It's been a day.
It's been a few here.
Let's start from the top. What questions are most pressing?
This whole witch funeral rite.
Yes,
The
I
priest.
met the priestess.
She wants to know. Aralahkis wants to know. The clan wants to know. Townsfolk want to know. I have to decide. Is he going to lie in an open casket or a closed casket? And I don't know what he wanted. It's difficult to separate out what I thought of him from what I think he would want. I don't know what he would want. We never discussed this. And based on what I think of him, I would assume he would want to lie in state and have weeping masses pass by his casket.
What did he do for his father?
I don't know. We never talked about that either.
Well, that might be a good question to ask. Who could we ask such a question of?
Make a history check, Gwen.
19.
Just as you say that, you remember that Aralahkis said something about his grandfather having a clan funeral.
That's right. Aralahkis did mention that your grandfather had a clan funeral.
All right.
So,
Not sure that helps me. I didn't
Well-
know him either.
no, but that was what your father did for his father.
Yes, but his father wasn't a national war hero.
Ah. So, what I hear you say is that perhaps it would be better for the clan to go with a more public funeral.
He kind of looks around to make sure that nobody's paying any attention and says softly, that I'm not concerned with the clan right now. What I'm concerned with is if I choose a clan funeral, would I be alienating allies elsewhere in the country?
I think that's a good question. And I think it's a very politic choice to include potential allies. It sounds as though you really are leaning in a direction.
I'm leaning away from a direction.
You're leaning away from a clan funeral?
I'm leaning away from a direction that might alienate people on a larger scale than just the clans.
Such as?
I can't remember the guy's name. That's awful.
It's okay.
The leader of Aecathan, the head of
Erma.
Yeah.
Iron Bane or
Bone
something.
Thane.
No.
Bone
Bone
Thane.
Thane.
Yeah. Okay. I imagine that regardless of what he may think of my father, Lord Bonethane would be... I don't know if insulted is the right word, but I think he would feel slighted if he were not at least invited. I don't know that any of them will come.
They'll come. Whether or not they liked your father, they respected him. They'll come. What if you set a date 2 days hence to give folks who are traveling time to get there? invite the heads of state from all of the regions, including our friends the dragons. And in the meantime, follow the traditions of a clan funeral while we're waiting for the rest to arrive.
Are you suggesting holding 2 separate services?
It's a thought.
I don't know that it's ever been done.
It's a new day.
I have to be wary of new.
Well, it's sort of a mixture of new and old.
The older clan members, the traditionalists, will not approve.
This is true.
You know how they respond to the breaking of even the smallest tradition, and this is not small.
Well, then it sounds like you've made some fine arguments. It does seem as though you're leaning in the direction of lying in state.
Perhaps I'm thinking about this the wrong way. You see the tiniest little bit of light come back into his eyes. He's clearly processing something. I think I need to speak to the clan elders.
It would be wise to seek their counsel. And I'm sure they would appreciate the gesture of faith.
Perhaps I could persuade them of the need for both. I'd have to be careful.
Perhaps you could convince them it was their idea.
That's much more difficult.
Isn't it? But yet there'd be so much greater conviction if they thought that it had been their plan all along. You know, this is often how we would get things done in the kitchen. Back in the day. Sometimes you don't have to apologize for not having a favored dish if you can convince someone that another dish is actually what they wanted in the first place.
I think you used that on me once or twice.
No, did I?
Yes, I think so.
Never. Here I am, telling you all my best tricks.
Somehow I doubt that. I've seen you in battle. You save your best tricks for people that you vehemently dislike. I hope I've not seen your best tricks.
Good point. I'll give you that one. What else weighs heavy on your brow?
I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to secure the entire clan's nomination.
Don't worry about that now.
I have to. As soon as the ceremonies are over and Father is interred, the nominations will be called. Oh. And then there's the issue, if we have the public ceremonies, we'll have leaders from all over the country here in
Yes.
one place
Yes.
for one ceremony. If that's not an invitation for the Jagravanans to attack, I don't know what is.
Fortunately for you, you know some dragons.
Yes, but can they be persuaded to help? This is a human matter, after all.
It is, but I think that they would agree that it's in their best interest to keep the peace. And certainly there would be much chaos if the leaders of every major land happened to be all destroyed at the same time.
That might persuade them.
Plus, they're constantly amused at what the Mithril Sept manages to do in terms of getting in trouble. They may just want to show up and see what latest trouble we found.
When did you hear this?
Oh, I heard this when we were talking with Mother Tasha, and I believe it was Mother Tasha. It may have been, it may have been when we were looking for Aralahkis.
Where was he, by the way? We have not had a chance to really get into this.
He was visiting a friend. I think he rather fancies someone.
Aralahkis? Isn't he like 1,000 years old?
I wouldn't care to wager a guess at his age, but I do know that the person he's interested in is something of an older woman.
Ratio of years of lifespan, not actual age, I assume?
Actual age.
Good gods. Are there female dwarves in the city that old? I had no idea.
Think less dwarf, more dragon.
I'm sorry, what? No, that... I'm sorry, my mind refuses to even go down that road. What are you
Too
talking
late.
about?
You're already thinking it.
Surely Mother Tasha has better taste.
I'm sure she does, but not Mother Tasha.
I knew he was going to think that. I
There
knew it.
is another.
No. Well, that would explain why we couldn't reach him.
Indeed, her wards are formidable.
So I am aware. That's why we were given that stone.
Exactly.
Is that how you found him?
Well, Zori has something of an in with that particular person. A direct connection, if you will.
Well, she has a direct connection with Mother Tasha. She does not have a direct connection with Gago. The stone simply
Right.
allows her to get through the wards.
Right, that's what I meant, was the stone.
Okay. And you were able to contact Aralahkis using the stone?
No, we were able to contact Gago,
Oh.
and he was there. He did not realize, he didn't think it through in terms of her wards, and uttered many, many unspeakable words
Oh, I've heard them.
when he realized that he was unreachable at such a time. Do go easy on him. He feels wretched. If he had known, he never would have been in that
So
position.
he said, grappling with hope, he was just there learning new magics?
He said that he picked a horrible time to fall in love.
Oh.
I don't think you have any hope that he was simply learning new magics, unless you consider relations with a dragon to be magical. And they may well be. Let's see. I'm a dragon now, so... Went right over his head.
The size difference.
Well, I'm sure she wasn't in dragon form at the time. At least one would hope. That seems...
Preposterous. It seems preposterous.
anatomically challenging.
Anatomically impossible. An enlarged spell only goes so far.
I'm glad that we've at least taken your mind off of more stressful thoughts.
Can we please return to the stressful thoughts? These are not enjoyable. Whoa.
Well, just think later when you're talking about matters of state with Aralahkis, you can be thinking about the anatomical challenges.
Oh, God. No.
Now you're going to. You're welcome.
Damn you.
He could probably, get lost there for days.
Yes, I really didn't need that help.
That's why I'm here. I do what I can.
I'm glad.
We should have more beer. I should have more beer.
Feel free. If he happens to have any non-hard cider, I am a bit thirsty, just not for that.
I call him over. I order 2 non-alcoholic ciders.
Of course. And Oloric reaches out and just puts his hand on Athgar's shoulder and says, "My friend, I am so sorry. Whatever you need, I would be happy to lend assistance." Thank you. There's a reason I came here.
And thank you for sending word. People would have started to worry in short order. They were already starting to ask for you.
Which is exactly why I left.
But remember, this is a time to take careful steps. But steps.
I understand, but perhaps it's too much to ask, but I needed just a little bit of time to try to come to grips with all of this.
Understandable.
Where are the other three? Are they hiding here somewhere?
Not that I know of. They were heading back to the forehome.
Well, I think they were headed for the keep,
Oh.
weren't they?
Oh, that's right. They were planning to stay. I forget. They were planning to stay close by in case you need us.
Well, nothing in Thunder's Edge is that far from anything else.
True. But closer is better. So the major issues seem to be that you need to make decisions about whether or not he'll lie in state, who will be attending, and it sounds as though you've got a plan that you'll talk with the elders. That seems wise. I think you should follow your instincts. I think they'll serve you well.
I should speak to the elders tonight.
Send a message and ask for them to gather. We'll finish our cider and then head there. I'll stay out of the way.
Stay
You don't need
the way.
you don't need that additional level of explanation.
I think they should all start getting used to seeing the two of us together.
Maybe after the state situation, maybe after they've made their decision, would be a more appropriate time to gradually introduce.
Appropriate, perhaps, but not honest.
Well, people are used to seeing us together. They know we've been adventuring together. I don't think there would be anything dishonest about.
No, but they need to realize that we are together.
If you think that's wise.
I think that's honest. And I would prefer to operate from a position of honesty. I don't want to appear covert or overly political. I wish them simply to know who I have become and who accompanies me.
I don't disagree, but recognize that everything you do from now forward will be political. That is the nature of your role. There'll be no escaping that.
Maybe it would be better if I wasn't chosen.
Well, I think that I personally have no doubt. I've never had any doubt that you are the person to succeed your father. You know that. I've talked to you about that as long as I can remember.
You have.
But should they be idiots and choose someone else, it wouldn't be the end of the world for you. You would be successful no matter what you choose to do. And if your path takes you in a different direction, you would flourish in that path. So walk into the room with your head held high and see if they're smart enough to realize that they should choose you. If they don't, then that's their loss.
All right. Well, we'll start with the clan elders.
Okay. I throw some coins on the bar.
Once we leave, however, I would just as soon be seen walking with the actual you. We don't need those types of rumors starting.
Everyone will wonder who is the lucky merchant that caught the eye of Lord Athgarr.
Yes, let's not do that.
Trying to show you off, girl.
If you'll give me a moment, I'll go change in the kitchen.
Of course.
So I go in the kitchen, I drop my disguise, I walk back out.
Oloric just kind of looks and smiles and gives you one of those.
Thanks again.
Of course.
I walk over to the hooded figure. Ready?
Of course not. So let's go.
Who do we need to contact to assemble the elders?
Well, Athgarr tells you along the way that he's going to simply drop in on one of the less venerable elders that he has a good relationship with, and stop and just stop in and say hi and ask them if they would call the others.
It's wise.
Yeah. All right, back to the keep. So the three of you arrive at the keep, and you are immediately recognized. Doors are opened, and one of the guards says, Lord Aralahkis and his assistant are up in his office, if that's who you're here to talk to.
Thank you. We know this is a difficult time.
Yeah, just nobody knows what to do.
You know what to do. You do what you're trained for, and Aralahkis will make decisions soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Head to his office.
Okay. As you round the corner, you see him pacing in front of Sten's desk, and she has 4 different pieces of parchment, and as he's talking, she's scribbling something here, and then scribbles the next thing over here, and then something here, and something over there, and it looks like he's just spitting out ideas and orders, and he keeps bouncing back and forth between like 4 different things. And she's trying desperately to keep up and keep them all separated. And he spins around and starts walking back and looks up and sees the three of you and stops. And you hear Sten go, "Oh, thank you."
Sten, do you think we... Aralahkis, could we interrupt for a few minutes? I know you have lots of things to do.
Yeah, I think so. Where were we? Well, you were here on this document. You were here on this document. You were here on this document. I think, I'm not sure I got everything. And this one is the list of just random shit that you've said that didn't seem to fall into any category. What? Give me that. Looks at it and goes, "Oh. Yeah, all right, that's fair." Yeah.
Sten, do you think you could arrange for some coffee, tea, and light refreshments to be sent in?
Oh.
I'm sure neither of you have eaten.
Sure. Thanks for thinking of me too. Yeah, I'll do that. And she gets up and trots down the stairs.
Walk over to
Food.
Walk over to Aralahkis. Give him a hug.
Hi.
Breathe. It's not your fault that you weren't here. Nothing would have changed had you been here. Don't be mad at yourself.
I'd have been further ahead on all of this.
You would have been sitting outside the door like the rest of us waiting.
Yeah, but I've been working on this stuff. And that's what messengers are for, right?
You can't do anything till Athgarr makes decisions about what's next.
Oh, that's not entirely true.
Well, okay. You can do something.
We're prepping both possibilities. So as soon as he says which way we jump, we're already in the air. How's he doing?
Gwen's with him now.
I suppose that's the one thing. I guess I understand that a little bit better now.
Do you want Gigo to come? Lori could call her, right?
No, no. This isn't her business. I mean,
no, but she cares about you, and she could come and be here when you take your respite.
Yeah, I'm not sure that particular distraction's the best thing for me right now. I kind of need to focus.
What can we do?
Nikki, put that face away.
I'm just loving this. Every second of it.
We've been waiting and waiting for it.
So cute. I don't think that distraction's gonna work. Probably not. Respite being rest? Never.
I was thinking more of cuddling. I don't know where y'all went, but holding your hand, curling around you.
So saith the paladin.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Is there anything we can do yet that you can think of? I mean, we could each take a piece of paper so Sten doesn't have to keep going back and forth.
No. There's something you could do.
Yes.
He looks at Tasha, in particular you.
Yes?
That's right.
Get out there and tell the stories.
Which ones?
Anything to do with what Athgar's been doing with you four.
Oh, all right.
People need to know what he's accomplished, what he's been part of.
There's not a lot of knowledge of that in town, and it's critical that people understand he's not who they saw a couple years ago.
What will
All right.
people be doing right now? Or will they be going somewhere? Will they be staying in their homes? Would they come to the courtyard?
They'll be going about their business until the burial announcements are made. And then they'll still be going about their business until that time. I mean,
So
if he decides on a clan funeral, the general populace will just pay their respects however they will, but they won't be at service. So life will continue on pretty much as normal.
Should Tasha try to perform at the Blue Spider versus the Wrath to get the clans versus the Outer Enclave?
Can I say both?
Yes, you can. So, I go back to wherever we're staying.
Well, you actually haven't made arrangements to stay anywhere yet, but you could go back to the forehome.
I go back to the forehome
Okay.
and I write 5 songs.
Okay. Then I need, some kind of check. What check would this be?
Performance?
I'm gonna say, for one of the songs, just performance, but for the other 4, performance and history.
Okay.
So you're gonna be rolling 2 different rolls for the other songs.
Okay.
But remember, I think, don't you have advantage on performance?
Sure. I don't know. Where would that be on our features and
I
traits?
thought you did.
Is there something with the loot when she's using it?
No.
I don't remember you ever rolling that.
I don't think so.
Oh, no. Okay, I remember. It's you have advantage when performing your own songs.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's different.
Yeah.
Okay. So action.
Performance roll for the first song.
Shh. 33. No, 30. Hold on. I can't do math. 28. There we go.
28. Okay. All right. And then performance and history for the second song.
Performance and history.
Mm-hmm.
So the history is 25, and the performance is 27.
Okay. All right. Roll those 2 again.
Okay. $20 and 20 and 20.
Okay. And go ahead and roll for the fourth song.
Okay. 21 and 25.
Okay. And then once more for the last one.
Just once?
On each.
Like-
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. 23 and 19.
Okay. All right. It takes you pretty much the rest of the afternoon and evening,
Okay.
but just past midnight, you finish the last one, and they look to be pretty good. Now, you have to figure out what story each one is telling. And you can do
Okay.
that. You don't have to do that right this second.
Okay.
But for, when you actually get out to perform them, you'll need to be able to say, this is the song about A, this is the song about B, etc. All right. So, after Tasha leaves, Aribell and Zorith, you're still there.
Abruptly, she didn't even say where the fuck she was going.
Yeah. Sten comes in with a tray of sandwiches, and there's a bowl of fruit and tea and coffee.
But Aralahkis did say, I want you to start, and we talked about it, so I guess that she left.
We knew where she went.
Yeah.
There's a look I get when I'm like, right, gonna write a song now.
Got it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
You'd know this at this point. You've seen it enough. Aralahkis just grabs a sandwich and takes a bite, chews it, swallows it, and then shoves the rest of the sandwich in his mouth.
You have to let Sten eat before she starts taking dictation again.
We were thinking about staying in the keep to be close to Athgarr. Do they have place for us maybe to sleep?
Well, I'm sure we could get beds brought in, but no, there's not. This is like a building for the running of the city. They're not really.
Oh, it's not like a
No,
home
Barracks.
no,
It's not like
Okay.
a barracks.
castle.
no.
Palace.
I mean,
Good.
Lord Athgarr or Lord Tremane lived here.
But that's it. Okay.
But that's
then
it.
we'll stay at the Four Home. That's fine.
All right. You do me a favor. See if you can get Athgarr to stay there with you. I know he's got his own place in town, but I don't want him to be by himself.
If he doesn't stay at the Four Home, then Gwen will stay with him.
Fair enough.
We won't let him be alone.
I don't know. You know him. Which way do you think he's leaning?
There's pros and cons to both.
Yeah. Security nightmare if we go public.
I think Athgarr is in a very difficult place to. I would imagine his father's position was much more secure as the next in line than Athgar's might be.
Yeah. Yeah, there really wasn't much doubt.
And
Yeah.
Tremane had built relationships because of his. Not relationships. Had already built respect because of his role in the war.
Yep. But that's why I want what Athgar's been doing
Yes.
to get told, because
Right.
he's deserving of a little respect that he's not getting. Just because people don't know. I mean, the war was pretty public.
Right.
All the stuff you all have been doing, not as much.
If there wasn't a way to do both, then I would encourage him to do the clan funeral, but it's not up to me.
Both. Nobody's ever done both.
It makes the most sense.
Right? To have the clan funeral first, a private Thunder's Edge event, and then a state event by the time the others got here or something.
Well, the hardliners
see.
aren't going to like it.
But if not, then he should just do a clan funeral because he already has some clout outside of the city. I mean, was given that medal from Bone Thane. He, has been with us to Romani Keep. He's known at the Sanctum and the Tower.
And
What we
Tasha's
just did in-
aunt.
Belinamard. I mean, what's it called? Sandy Cove. I mean,
Yeah.
even the. So
Actually, I would say that he's well renowned in every other town but this one.
Right. So if he had to pick, he should go with the clan one to not rock the boat with them.
But
And if he doesn't want to do both here and because of the security, he could do the clan funeral here, and then I'm sure Bone Thing could gather the dignitaries there and have an Ermanian remembrance for him.
Yeah.
So I don't think he can lose as long as he does something for the clan.
Yeah, I don't think that taking it to Erma is going to work, because if there's any sort of public ceremony, the people here are going to want to be able to pay their
Right.
respects.
Well, then they'll say they want to have it here, and then he'll win.
Yeah, but the people aren't going to be the ones voting.
True. Well, we'll have to trust Athgarr and his judgment now.
Once upon a time, that would have filled me with abject terror. But not anymore.
Oh.
Well,
If you do have a state funeral, since this is not a keep like I'm used to, where would you put people?
we basically clear out the blue spider, and we put the dignitaries there.
Okay.
There are, their retinues could be housed maybe at the Wrath or a couple of the other inns in the Outer Enclave. You might even be able to, have some people open their homes and have them stay there.
We have some magic accommodations if we need more.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, that would certainly come in handy.
All right. Well, has Sten eaten?
Yeah, she's been nibbling on sandwiches this whole time. She's downed like 2 of them in 2 cups of tea.
Sten? Is there any jobs that Aralahkis has given you that Zori and I can take on?
She kind of looks at Aralahkis, and Aralahkis says, "It's fine. It's fine. I know I've thrown a lot at you. If there's something they can do to help and they're willing, let them." Oh, good. Okay. Well, we need to write the official notice to send out on the Far Signal network, because whether or not we're having a public ceremony or not, we do need to let the rest of the country know, because this
Okay.
is kind of big news.
We can do that.
I mean, we're the southern wall, and if the southern wall's leader falls, everybody kind of wants to know that.
Yep. We can do that, and we can take it to the tower. Do you need to approve it, Aralahkis?
Well, one of us does.
Okay.
But, I mean, Sten knows how to do this, so if you would run it by her and she says it's okay, then send it. Doesn't have to be long, just, just the basic facts, and that he died peacefully with his son by his side, and,
Mm-hmm. Got it.
something that hints strongly at a peaceful transition of power, but without coming right out and saying anything.
Arrangements will be communicated in the coming days. Yes.
Right.
Got it.
I guess the rest of everything it really hinges on when Athgar's gonna... What? For now, until we hear otherwise, it's Lord Athgarr. Oh. So we're officially throwing our support behind him unofficially? Yeah, actually. Yeah. Okay.
If it makes a difference at all, we will do the same in town.
Well, it won't hurt. I mean, you have some notoriety, and if you are seen and heard addressing him as Lord Athgarr, well, that'll help.
We'll let Tasha know.
Right. So, yeah, as soon as he decides, then we'll have lots of messages we need to send. So, it would be great to be able to send them all in one day. If I have to send them all, it's going to take a few days. And we'll need some sort of written notice that'll get delivered to all the different clan elders for the different clans.
Mm-hmm.
And, we need to decide what sort of public statement we want to make for the outer enclave.
Okay.
'Cause that should be posted. Maybe given to the criers, I don't know.
Okay. We'll take care of it.
Thanks.
And if a state funeral is what Lord Athgarr decides, Sten will help. 'Cause I'm sure you have not had to do that before.
Oh, no.
And if that's the route that we go, Zori and I will go to Erma and bring my mother back to help.
Oh, has she done stuff like this before?
Yes.
Oh, good. Yeah, that would be great.
And we can make sure everything's prepared the right way for the dignitaries.
That would be really good, because I've never done it. And she looks at Aralahkis, and he's like, last time we did this, it was just a clan funeral. That I know how to do. But
yes.
The big one, I mean, I've been to a couple, but I've never put one on. Yeah, we need help.
I think it's better to have her than ask Lord Bonethane's aid, because then it would look like Irma was stepping in. So we'll do this unofficially.
Very politic.
And my father fought with Tremane, so it's a completely normal thing for her to help.
That's a good way to explain it.
Yes. He is a longtime family friend, so we
I like it.
will not ruffle any feathers.
Except for the ones that are bound and determined to get ruffled, but where I'm going to have a talk with them.
We're not going to do anything to harm Athgar's standing. And do everything we can to promote it.
You're good friends. I hope he appreciates all that you're going to do for him.
Zora, you have paper?
I do. I pull out my
Shall we
paper.
start writing?
We shall.
We've been in other rooms here, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll go to the other room with the table.
Okay. All right. And
Take the sandwich.
And Sten says, "Oh, I actually have like the parchment with a stamp with this the crest. That's like the official documentation. So if you wanted to use that, I've got some."
Okay.
Once we figure out what we're gonna say.
We'll take the letterhead with us.
Okay. All right. And as you step into a nearby empty office and settle down and begin to work, that's where we're going to stop this week. We'll pick this back up as the evening progresses next time.
Ugh.
Yep. Just goes from one disaster to the next. But that's the life of the four.
Ooh.
Thank you for watching. We appreciate your attention very much. And hope that next week you'll return and let us welcome you back once more to the lands of Aecathan. Good night, everybody.